Hello everyone and welcome to the Metro Air Train tutorial videos. This is number 6 in the series. Today we'll be covering everything about Metro Acars. Now we have our custom Acar system which is available in the download center, and the download center is covered in another video. I believe it's number 3 at the top of my head. So for today's flight, our flight example, we're going to be flying from Boston to Fort Lauderdale in an A319. So I'm going to pull up a bid for that under Operations Center, Schedule Mainline. Put in Boston for departure and Fort Lauderdale for the arrival. And we're going to choose the flight with the A319 as selected aircraft. That's Metro 808. Now I already have it as an active bid, but normally it would say bid up there, and you just click bid to select it as a bid. And that's all we need for that. We just need to select a bid. Next we go into the sim. I already have it loaded up. As you can see, Metro A319 just loaded up, haven't touched anything at Boston. And this is the Aerosoft, by the way. And now we can start up Metro Acars. I'd recommend running it as an administrator because some problems may occur if you do not. And also make sure you have FSUIPC, at least a free version installed into your sim, in order to make sure that Acars and the sim can communicate to each other. Next we click select bid, and since this is my only bid, I'm going to click on select bid. Make sure your departure times line up in the sim and through the Metro database. Click on select bid. Now we have to enter our route. I already have a real world flight done by Spirit 615, so I'm just going to highlight the route and copy Control C and paste it Control V into the Acars. Next I'm going to use what they used for cruise altitude, which is flight level 340, and you can enter it as 34,000 into Acars. I don't want this isn't an event flight, and I don't want pre-flight announcements, so I'm going to click on confirm. That's all good, and next we can calculate the fuel that we'll need. Taxi time about 10 minutes, that's fine. Route distance 1,077 nautical miles. It gets that number from the flight plan route that you inputted in the last step, so that should be accurate by default. And for alternate distance, I'm going to put in about 20 minutes, and holding time about 20 minutes is perfectly fine too. Now I know just from experience that flying from the northeast, such as the Boston or New York area, to the southeast, such as the Florida area, does get a headwind most of the time. So I'm going to accommodate that with a 80 knot headwind calculation. Extra fuel, 2,000 pounds is adequate enough. Now we get 19,525 pounds as a calculated fuel amount. So I'm going to click on confirm, and you can see I just need to start the parking, set the parking brake to start the flight, and I can see the flight is up and running. Now to make sure the fuel loaded into the plane, we can go into the load fuel section in our FMC in the Aerosoft, and you can see it put in 8.85 metric tons of fuel, which is equivalent to 19,525 pounds. But there has been a problem with the fuel input into the Aerosoft Airbus, so what I usually do is just copy that number, 8.85, and just insert it again, and insert it like that. Now that'll load, now I know that'll load the right amount of fuel into my plane. So that's it for fuel. If you go over to the Acars one more time, you can see those 4 times, none of them which I have met yet. But time out means the time you have started pushback or your departure time. Time off means the wheels up time once your aircraft got in the air. Time on means your touchdown time once your wheels touch the ground. Time in means the time at which your engines have reached the off position and are parked at the gate. If you click on your return, you can see a bunch of categories here. We have fuel plane. If you ever want to change your fuel numbers or insert it again, you can click on confirm, but we're going to cancel that because we already inputted the fuel into our airplane. You can click on status, which brings us back to where we just were. Current bid, you can see on the bid that we're flying, and if you need the departure time ever again, or the aircraft, or the departure and arrival airports, that's there. Refresh bids, if you want to refresh bids. I haven't placed a bid in the time that we have doing this, so that won't actually do anything. You can click on weather, and that'll actually load the METARs for each airport, which is a very nice feature. Also there's diagnostics, which just shows the version number and your system time and your name and your pilot ID, as well as the FSUIPC version that you're running for Acars. So I'm going to go back to status, and you can see the fuel used and remaining in pounds, as well as the current GMT time in your sim, not real world, but in your sim if it differs. Your current altitude, speed in indicated airspeed, and speed in ground speed. And you can see the flight stage that you're in or state. And we are in pre-flight right now. So that concludes it for the Acars video. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact me through the Metro Air website, going to Human Resources and Training. You can fill out this form, that'll send an email to me, and we can schedule a TeamSpeak time if we need to do so. So that concludes it for this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.